A lot of people have probably already seen NTE, Neverless to Everless, and there are some people, like myself, who have noticed that this game has a lot of similarities to Project Mugen. And Project Mugen was announced last year at Gamescom 2023. Now here's the thing, Project Mugen has been radio silent ever since they made their announcement for the game. So in this video, we're going to talk about the similarities and potential differences that these two games have. And then I'll share my thoughts on which game I think is probably going to do better on launch. With that said, let's get into the video. We'll start off talking about similarities between the games, and when we're talking about similarities, there is one major similarity between the two games. It's the world that the games are situated in. They are both situated in urban open worlds. Now, because these two games are situated in open world games that are also set in a modern urban setting, it affects different parts of the game, like the movement in the game. Now, Project Mugen and NTE both have a mounting system where you're able to drive cars around the city. NTE, though, in its gameplay showcase, shows us that we're able to also take cars that are parked along the road and drive them off ourselves. We're also able to customize our cars and do some other things to them. But in Project Mugen, it's not clear if we're able to actually pick up cars that are along the road and go. We do know that Taffy has the ability to ride her hammer along the way, but it's not clear if we have the same amount of freedom that we do in another game, like say Grand Theft Auto. And I talked about this in my video when I was talking about Project Mugen. And since we're already talking about the movement, let's talk about some key differences between the two's movement. Project Mugen has the Spider-Man swinging system, where you're able to swing around the city similar to how Spider-Man would in a Spider-Man game. But what NTE does have is this wall climbing system. Now, I'm not clear on whether this wall climbing system is something that every character can do. It might probably be just this character alone, because it's only this character that I have seen that has had the ability to be able to stick to a wall and move around on the wall. And we also see that it's not a permanent thing. You can't stay on the wall forever. After a little bit of time, you will fall off. These are two different aspects of the game, and it will be interesting to see how exactly the devs work around these systems. Another place where these two games are very similar is the supernatural setting of the two games. Now, Project Mugen is a game that is set in the city of NIU, and in the city of NIU, you play as investigators. These investigators investigate anomalies that happen in the city, and these anomalies are caused by spiritual creatures. We don't know what exactly they are, but that's basically the main premise of the game. Now, the premise of NTE is pretty much the same. It doesn't really say that we're investigating all of these anomalies, but we're probably playing as sort of like bounty hunters or something like that, and we're going to be doing some stuff that has to relate with the spiritual side of the game. Because if we look at the gameplay, we fight against some spiritual creatures and we do some other things. So technically, these two aspects of the game are the same, and I can't really say that there is much of a difference here. One key difference that we have seen between the two games is this place where in NTE we sort of just transition into like a special stage, similar to how in Wuthering Waves you have like the tacit fields, and when you walk into a tacit field, the sky darkens up and everything happens, and then you see the tacit discords appear. It's sort of similar to that, so it's pretty cool to see. Project Mugen did not really have anything like this because, once again, we never got gameplay from the game, so we can't really say anything about that for Project Mugen. And from here on out, it's now about differences, because there really isn't anything else to talk about in the game. So one key difference in the game is that all of the characters that we play in Project Mugen are espers, and because of that you can see them having telekinetic abilities. But in NTE, it's not clear if we're playing as espers. I don't think we are playing as espers. The characters that we're playing as are not made clear. In Project Mugen, we don't know how many characters we will have in a team. In NTE, we know that we have 4 characters per team, and we also know that it has a skill and ultimate system similar to how most other action RPG games that have been coming out in the recent times have all had. As for Project Mugen, we don't know what is going on because we don't have gameplay from Project Mugen. NTE also has a house purchasing system where you're able to buy houses for yourself. It also has a sleeping system where you're able to sleep and time cycles up until another time in the day. All of these features are features that we've seen in other games like Grand Theft Auto 5. That's what it reminds me the most about. And all of these features are very, very awesome. Of course, there are still some things that I would like to improve upon. I'll talk about these things in another video. But generally, NTE shows a lot of promise, and I'm really looking forward to what they have. Now, onto the main reason why I decided to make this video. So when I saw the trailer for NTE, there were two questions that came to my mind. The first question is, what will NetEase and Project Mugen do about this? Like, are they finally going to come out and start giving us stuff to do? Because the last time we heard from them was earlier this year when they did a Happy New Year post, and then we didn't hear anything from them ever again. It's similar to how Arknights Enfield dropped a trailer, disappeared for almost 2 years, reappeared, did a beta, and disappeared again. But the thing is, we've been seeing job listings for Project Mugen, so we know that Project Mugen is in development, but they just haven't shown us anything. They haven't given us any updates or anything like that. So I'm now wondering if this reveal of NTE will actually make them decide to actually come out and show us something, at least to tell us that, hey, we're still alive and you guys should probably not focus on the other game. Maybe you should focus on us. I mean, I would like to see that, but I don't know what exactly they have in mind. And that will lead smoothly into the second question that I have. Which of these two games is actually going to do better? After thinking about it for a little bit, I think it's going to come down to which game is going to launch first. Like, Project Mugen was announced first, and NTE has come out, and they are very, very similar games. And if these two games stay as they are right now and they were released, it depends on the game that comes out first. Like, if Project Mugen comes out first and it does the whole swinging thing, the whole fighting spirits and going around the world and traversing and doing everything that we know that they can possibly do, and then afterwards NTE comes out doing the exact same thing, but then there's just a few changes, like the ability to climb on walls as opposed to just swinging around the city like Spider-Man, people are going to get bored of one game faster than the other, and most people, most casual people, are most probably not going to try out the second game because they are just going to see it as a very similar game to the previous game. Those are my thoughts. Personally, from everything that I've seen so far, I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments, so please leave them down below. I'm really interested in seeing what people think about this. There are some people who see this game as just open world Zenless Zone Zero, and they're not interested in the game because they don't see any reason to actually move from ZZZ. And if that's the case, that's fine. Like, I do admit that these three games, Zenless Zone Zero, Project Mugen, and NTE, they're very, very alike. So we have to see what exactly these games do to make themselves stand out. Because right now, both NTE and Project Mugen, they don't really have much that's making them like distinct from each other. And it'll be interesting to see what they do in future. With all that said, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for Wuthering Waves, Azure Premilia, Project Mugen, and NTE news videos, lore videos, challenge videos, and some other kinds of videos that I'll try from time to time. Also join the hideout on Discord, and you can also check out my second channel. I'm planning on doing some ZZZ content on there, and I am still considering if I'm going to resume some Genshin content on that channel. It remains to be seen, but that's really everything that I have to say for now. Let me hear your thoughts down below in the comments, and thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace, guys.